Hello students, my name is Ms. Sweta Shyam Matonkar. I am an assistant professor at Carmel College for Women, Noe, Goa. The title of the unit is Lifestyle to Enhance Health and Prevent Illness, and the name of the module is Health Enhancing Behaviors, Accident Prevention. The outline of the session is Accident Prevention as a Health Enhancing Behavior and Interventions for Accident Prevention at Home, Workplace and on Automobiles. According to the learning outcomes, you will be able to understand the significance of accident prevention as a health enhancing behavior and also explain the interventions necessary for accident prevention at home, workplace and on automobiles. Accident represents one of the major causes of preventable deaths. That is, these are those deaths that take place which could have been easily prevented if at all we would have taken all those precautions that were necessary. For example, we have road traffic injuries, we have poisoning, occupational accidents and so on. So in this session we are basically going to focus more on to what are the interventions by which we can prevent such accidents. Now there are many accidents like electrocution that takes place, or maybe falls, or maybe accidental poisoning that takes place, and all of these are quite common in terms of causing death or at least disability. So when we talk about home environments, a lot of accidental poisonings takes place by the products that we get or are easily available in our kitchens also. So what are the interventions that we can actually come up with? First of all, it is important that we target a population in order to execute our interventions in a much better way, that is the parents. Pediatricians focus on parents in order to teach them the interventions so that they can teach the same to their children. And these interventions or these solutions can work only if the parents feel that they believe in those measures, that is they believe in those interventions, and if they feel that they are knowledgeable enough and competent enough to pass on that knowledge to their children. Also, parents have to be very much realistic about the time needed. That is, the interventions would take a lot of time to actually get habituated or ingrained into the child's behavior. Research suggests that these interventions that have been suggested are quite successful at workplace and also at home. For example, identifying common poisons in households and keeping them at safe places so that the children do not have access to the same. Along with that comes child proofing of the house, wherein you cover all the sharp edges of the furniture and any other surface that is wet. You make sure that the child does not have access to the same. Other than that, we have safety precautions like, for example, safety caps that come available in order to make your medications safer so that child does not have access to any kind of medications and open it easily. Then we have certain strict guidelines that we can always list down at our workplace to which people should adhere and prevent themselves from getting into any kind of an accident. Motorcycle and automobile accidents are the ones which are the greatest cause of accidental deaths, wherein people are reluctant to wear helmets or their seat belts. So psychology tries to focus on researching about these topics. That is, we research on the maintenance of roadways, because it is not always the problem of the individual who is not adhering to the rules. It is also the kind of facilities that are available to you which can also cause harm. And the volume of travel, that is how much do people travel on a regular basis, and safety standards. For example, reducing the highway driving speed, mandatory seat belts, safety restraint seats for young children, reflective clothing so that you are visible even during the night time to people who are there on the road, and usage of helmets for the ones who ride bikes or motorcycles. These interventions can work only when there is a combination of social engineering, community health education and psychological interventions, which means that a combination of various methods can help ingrain these safety precautions into the behavior of people. For example, implementing safety behaviors from childhood. That is, if parents instill or teach their children safety behaviors with regard to their home environment or workplace environment or road safety, then that particular behavior can get ingrained into the child's day-to-day behavior, and it does not have to make a special effort to do the same. Along with that, when community health education tries to spread awareness with regard to these accidents that take place, it is important that they also provide you with some positive reinforcement, such as some small but monetary rewards, maybe financial, some money and all that, so that people are motivated to come for your awareness programs and also execute the interventions that you have taught them. Now, we usually know that we all have all these rules and regulations laid in our minds so that we are safe in every environment, but actually the onus comes on to us whether we want to adhere to those rules or not, because we are taking our life for granted and we are not following all these rules. As a result of which, all of these programs that I've just spoken about might not really work with any individual or might work with just a few individuals. And that is the reason we find that legal solutions are the ones which are most effective. Like for example, if you get a fine for not wearing a helmet, and if money goes from your pocket, then obviously that is when you realize that, oh, I should wear a helmet. Not because of your life safety, but because you want to save that money. So money comes first and then life. That means our priorities are different. So it is better that we prioritize our life first and then we think about these safety precautions as something that you really want to do as an individual, and not some rules and regulations that are laid down by some other authority and you have to do it. Okay, only then we would be successful in preventing such accidents. So far in this session we have studied that how we can prevent ourselves from meeting with accidents which actually sound to be very silly, like for example just falling in your house or maybe falling at a workplace, and that becomes a huge deal because you end up being disabled for a long period of time, or some people even end up dying, especially when it comes to motorcycle and automobile accidents. So it is important that we follow such interventions, and in order to do so, psychological research tries its level best to come up with reinforcements, positive reinforcements that can motivate individuals so that they adhere to all of these rules and regulations or to these interventions, and only then would it work, because otherwise following rules and regulations is quite something that we do not like to do, as it is we get habituated in our day-to-day life and we take things for granted, especially the ones to which we have already got accustomed to or used to. So it's very important that we not just take these rules and regulations with regard to accident prevention as something that is laid down by higher authorities and that's something that we have to follow, but you have to take it onto yourself. That is, it is your responsibility that you come up with your own rules and regulations and you prioritize what is important to you, and that is how you can prevent yourself from meeting with such types of accidents. These are your references, that is Serafino, EP and Smith TW, Health Psychology, Biopsychosocial Interactions, 9th edition, New York, Wiley Student's Choice, and thank you.